What's up dogs, Theody here, and Unite has officially released on May 8th. I'll admit, I was debating on whether or not I should make this video, and it's not because they had a rough start trying to get it to release, nor was it anything in particular with how the engine runs, or how the engine works, but more so because of... And as much as I would like to say that I was, sponsored or secretly in the beta in any way, nope. Granted, I didn't bother asking, but man... Anyway, I'd like to officially announce my Ko-Fi! Ko-Fi is a creator-supporter website where you can donate as little as $1. Those proceeds goes into my cup of coffee or whatever it's inside that you usually see me chugging away in my videos and especially my devlogs. And who knows, maybe your name may end up on that cup. And if I'm not drinking anything, maybe it may just end up right here. In that blurry background that you see. So a bit of background before we begin. I've used RPG Maker to make horror games since pretty much I was a child and only recently started releasing things. As for Unite, I worked with it for roughly a year, but didn't officially release anything there. So I like to think that I have a little bit of background in Unity and a lot of background in RPG Maker that, who knows, maybe my opinion will matter. Today we'll be doing a first look. I won't be covering everything, but if that is something you are interested in, there is a great video by SRDude that I linked down in my descriptions. If you're interested in a tutorial series, there's a great one by Baz, also in my descriptions down below. Now, here we are with Unite, and it took quite a while to get here. It took about 20 minutes just to download everything and also import the assets over into Unity. I should also go ahead and mention that because this is by Unity and Unite is an asset of Unity, we are still following the terms and services of Unity, in addition to that of Unite. So what that pretty much means is that if you are a developer or a developer team, then this clause here will probably be the most important one for you. Now, with all that said, here we are in Unite. Immediately, I can see that we have our game test window here. I think what will work out very well for me if I just immediately press the test play button. But before I do that, we do want to keep a template. So by pressing, oopsies, nailed it. So by pressing here, we can create a new project and we can use either basic assets or sample game. I'm gonna use a sample game. I don't even call it sample game. And let's check it out. See this, guys? Your name could be on this. What is it? No one will know. But if there's a name on it, you will know.
20 minutes later.
Alright, so that took about half an hour, but also Unity had to update, so that's probably why it took most of the time. Anyway, here we are. Let's give it a test play so we can get an idea of what's going on here. You took away my spacebar? I always RPG Maker with my spacebar. How could you? Craft, it's already afternoon. Get up already. Yeah, I totally also just wake up standing on my bed as well. Classic start of the morning. All right, so let's go try and find that. And it crashed.
5 minutes later.
So I found out where we started at. And it's by going into starter on, into setting off, and here we are, edit map. So right immediately you can see that we have this drop down feature, and maybe you'll like it more, maybe you'll like it less. Over here we can edit the map, and then of course if that's the feature that we're on, then you can see that we have our background, parallax, collision placement, which is pretty much our regions, our set A, B, shadow pen, C, and D, and I guess everything's on D over here. But then where's the floorboard and wall? But immediately what I can see is that we have our map settings here, and then we can add tile groups and set tile groups. So this is something I kind of saw, like if I were to click this, you can see that I can start adding them. So if I do that, and then if I do something like this, okay, say we have layer B, and then I'm just going to do this for an example. Layering actually works out in the way that you imagine it would. So you got your layer A, B, or I guess A, B, C, and D, as opposed to MV and MZ, where B through the rest of it kind of works in like a one-layer system, and they just replace each other after putting two graphics on top of each other. And then if you try to do two within the same layer, so I'm going to try to erase, I think this is the erase tool. Oh, you have to go through each layer to erase it. Okay, fair enough. Well, if you actually use the same layer, they will end up replacing each other. I guess that's a bad example. I'm curious to see what if I did something like this. So I got this from C and I put it in here. Now if I end up deleting this, will it also delete it from the map? No, it doesn't. We can go into the event and we can start to see where all the events are. Now if I wanted to add an event, okay, so we kind of have our classic RPG Maker stuff here. So no, okie dokie. Now if I want to delete an event, I think I gotta go here to delete an event. Well, I want my hotkeys. I want to delete like that. Can I copy and paste? Copy, paste. Why can't I use hotkeys? But there's no right-click delete. I'm sure that there are hotkeys somewhere, and you just gotta put them in, right? Right? So what are you? If I double-click you, absolutely nothing. I have to right-click and edit. So one thing I do actually like is the fact that you do have all these different dialog boxes, and it does make it a little bit faster to jump into one thing and then into another. But my hotkeys, man. Where are my hotkeys? Ooh. These aren't my hotkeys, but it's something I wanted to comment on immediately. So you can see stuff right here like import and export, and I think that is a really cool feature. So kind of thinking like Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild going into Tears of the Kingdom. Well, what you can do is that if you're making that sort of sequel where a lot of the stuff are kind of similar, where you can have templates, you can export that, then when you're making that sequel, you can import it. Even though they're two completely different game projects and you're working with two completely different files, it allows you that portability to do exactly just that. So that's really cool. There's another thing that I also saw that I wanted to talk about, but I didn't really understand it until now. It isn't exactly like a map transition per se. Like right here you can see that we have this town, and in this town you can actually go into each of the small houses that you see in the map, but of course it's only going into one direction. So what it's trying to tell you from a, I guess, flowchart perspective, that the flow of the game is go to this town, go into here, and then so on and so forth. And this really helps paints the picture of how you want your game to go. The other thing is that's cool is that you got these chapters, and you can even rename them to however you want. Unless I'm lying. I guess I'm lying. Okay, so chapters and sections. They're kind of like, they're built into the engine, and they're just used. So like if I wanted to add a chapter, I'm assuming it will appear somewhere. Oh, there it is. So I could just drag it on over to here, and then I can do that. Alright. Test stiff. There we go, so it starts to change there. I like that a lot, actually. Anyways, I can get rid of test stiff. Ooh, it worked. My hotkeys has worked. No. It's all about the right click. Man, it's all about the right click. Who knows, maybe once I start working with it, I'll find that it's not as cumbersome as I think it is. Now, how do I add a new right click? Always the right click. But if I keep this dialog box open, I wonder. Then I have to make my changes here. Oh no, the dialog box went away. So I constantly have to right click? What if I hit space, enter, stuff that I'm usually accustomed to? Does not work. It's all about the right click. It's fine, guys. It is fine. Oh, you know what? It is fine. Because if I drag that dialog box right there, the dialogue completely vanishes, so it does not even matter. That I noticed is that there's an RPG Maker focus mode and a Maker plus Unity editor. I may come to regret this. I should have known. Another loading time.
5 minutes later.
So this one's the Unity. I'm just gonna move this away so I could take a look at the Unity side of it. And not gonna lie, I'm not so sure how intuitive the Unity. Okay, so one thing I didn't mention, mainly because I thought you guys could see it, but I thought it's worth noting, is that these are all dialog boxes, which means I can pop it out, I can move it to a different monitor. But this way, I have my outline on this screen, and then on this screen, I can continue to work on other stuff. So if I want, I could also have my test play on a monitor there. And notice that in Unite, you no longer have the hover, and then you get the help dialog box. You just gotta press it and cross your fingers. Wait, what does this leaving door button do? And now that I need to open up Unite, so one thing I got really accustomed to is the fact that there's a lot of load times here, so I decided to, you know. I wonder if I can move that button somewhere else, because it's awfully close to the test run button. Oh god, please don't tell me I hit it again. So this is pretty much your deployment, building it into a game. This must have been safe. This must have been open. So the other thing I also noticed is that this is cool. We have our database all here. Then we have our outline being the game itself. Okay, so I'm gonna assume that if I go, what the heck, Act of Mercy? Oh, okay, so it's just the name of the chapter. Gotcha, or the name of the section rather. Alright, so you know what? It actually wasn't as bad as I thought. Cool, let's try creating something, and we'll even do it from scratch. And while that loads for about 10 to 20 minutes. Okay, so before I go off building a game, I wanted to take time just to look at the database and what sort of things are kind of like brand new and have changed. And immediately I went into the UI setting, into the shared settings. And what's really cool is that I immediately spotted that we can actually do the adjustments for the settings here. Haha! Look at that, I can even hide the HP and stuff. Oh, that's for battle menu. Oh, dialogue boxes. So you get choices. Options, start transparent. The usual that you want to do. Still has an autosave feature, which I can only assume is when you transfer map. And look at that. 1080p native. Alright, moving on. Let's head off into characters. Oh, okay. So in case you need to click it, because there's no drag and drop feature. Right? I think that was... I forgot. Was there? I don't know. You guys saw. It's been like 2 hours since I started this video because of all the load times. All the basic features. NPCs? There are NPCs now? I mean, granted, I could have just done that and like create a new section in the actors, but yeah, it's built into the system now. So I like that. That's cool. There's a shared setting? So I guess that means that they all kind of just have these parameters and I can change them. So I kind of like that you can globally set the volume, pitch, and pan of it as opposed to each individual that you create. Right click, new item. Ah, there we go. Oh yeah, don't forget, it's all about the right click nowadays. Can you link it to a common event? Yes, you could. Here it is. Other common event and effects. Cool. Elements, skill types, magic. I still haven't found the animations. I don't see it as I scroll over either. Must be hiding somewhere. Oh look, we can see animations right here. It's adorable, but I actually want to see it in action. Oh, here. That's much better. Resource manager. Well, look at here. There's more than just 3 frames. And as a matter of fact, you can have as many frames as you want. Aha, here it is. Number of frames. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This is fantastic. And we got other animations. Ooh, there's a dragon. A turtle? Strange turtle. SV battlers. Here we go, here we go. Now, I saw those weapon animations. Is this where oh wait, this is for SV battles, a side view. Oh, we gotta see the battle animations for that, right? Cool. We got a good look. Now we're gonna start and try and make our game. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit more difficult to make out with my eyeballs to see what each auto tile is supposed to be. I wonder if I can shift. Nope. Can I right? Nope. Okay. Well, it's just one at a time, I suppose. So if I want, I gotta click to event, and then I think I can drag and drop them, right? No, you can't. I can't even. I wish the delete button works, but it doesn't. Hotkeys. Alright, so if I need to move this dude, I can't just drag and drop him. I wish there was a search feature on the top left. Ooh, events, right click, initial placement, player, boom, there we go. Makes life much more easier. That's what I want to see. Like, we can even make quick events for doors. They're all called objects. Could called it what they were, but you're calling it just objects. Okay. I found a door. Not exactly the door I wanted. Can I just drag and... Yes. Cool. That's what I like to see. Shortcuts. Now, if I wanted to create a copy of a map... Here to copy? Paste. Okay. I think I got a little bit more than what I wanted. Where'd you guys come from? So to help simplify things, what Unite is doing is that they're breaking down the images into 2 sections, one of which was pretty much all your characters and actors that you define in your database. The other of which is image, is pretty much your entire library for images. Here, we can fight the weird turtle. So, right click. Not a fan of this right clicking thing. So basically what I wanted to do is, you know, the general horror thing where it just chases the player and then on touch, game over. Event touch, here we go. Event touch, new message. Haha, you dead. And then in this one, it's just a game over. And then, let's test play this. Oh, almost hit the leave and save button. That wouldn't have been great. Oh yeah, I put start as invisible. Change transparency on. Okay. And how do I move this up? Like say I messed up. I can't do my ever so classic cut and paste. Oh, okay, right click, copy paste. Right click, copy paste. Oh, you know what? I just realized I put transparency on, it should be off. Shoot. I hit the exit and save button. I wonder if I can move that button somewhere else, because it's awfully close to the test run button. Yes, there we are. Alright. Can't believe they took away my space button. Oh yeah, I forgot to actually have you move towards me. Anyways. Alright, well that was it. That was the test I wanted to make. I would make it a lot more complicated, but just jumping through all the different drop downs and figuring out where I want to be and what's what It's kind of driving me a little bit nuts right now. Alright you guys, so that was the first look into RPG Maker Unite. And admittingly, there's a lot I liked and a lot I also did not like. I think a lot of it is because I grew into these certain habits with RPG Maker that with Unite, because it's so much more different, there's a lot of habit I have to break out of and reform and recreate. But I do think that with Unite and all the new features that's involved, it really adds into the experience, into what you can create. I think you guys saw that throughout trying to make something very, very simple, I was a bit frustrated because of all the habits that I tried doing, especially the hotkeys and shortcuts that I'm used to, that was not the same or not available in Unite. I think there's a lot more exploration that I gotta do in order to really put an opinion down. However, as it stands right now, I am trying to release Caster's Trap, so I'm not going to touch Unite for some time. I'm just going to focus in Caster's Trap, and once that's completed, then I'll try to start developing something in Unite. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, and don't forget, if you would like to be on the cup, then consider heading on over to my Ko-Fi and donating as little as $1. It truly and honestly does go a long way. Alright, see you in the next one. Till then, later!